Hi everyone, Chas Johnson here with Coldwell Banker King Thompson. Just wanted to do a quick short video with you. Today, I know my first video was talking about the pre-approval process and how important it is to get a pre-approval. So I thought I would take it one step further and speak with Angie Bradley of the Bradley Lending Team with Union Home Mortgage. Just some questions that my Facebook followers have been asking me, and she's agreed to sit down with me and answer some of those questions. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So first question, when I get a client who calls and they're ready, they're excited to go ahead and look at homes, and I say, okay, let's get that pre-approval. How do they even start the loan process? Like, explain to me, if you can, just where they begin.
Okay, so there's a lot of different ways that people can apply. Of course, you can make an appointment, come in, sit down. I'd love to talk with you. We can sit down face to face. I do offer evening and weekends appointments as well if that's needed. I know people have busy schedules.
Awesome.
So with busy schedules, if you're not able to make it in, you can also do a phone appointment. We can get the majority of the information that we need over the phone, and then the documentation we can just follow up with, email, fax, whichever. We also have a very convenient phone app. It can work on a desktop or your phone, but this application system actually allows you to do it at your convenience in the comfort of your own home, maybe in between picking kids up, you're sitting in the car just waiting. You can actually upload documents to the application. It asks you all the important questions, and not to worry if you're not sure what to put. It's okay, you just do your best, and then we follow up and we'll help you with anything that's missing, or corrections if you weren't sure what to put there. We will help with that. So there's several different ways that you can get the process started, just to kind of find out what to do and where to begin.
Awesome. One thing as a realtor that I love about the app is the loan calculator. I use it quite often, and I'm sure your clients could use it as well. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, because I think for a lot of people, the biggest question is, what will my payment be?
Absolutely. Yes.
So, and if you already know where you're at, great. If you're not sure and you're like, well, I think I can afford this price range, but I don't know, this calculator on the app will actually let you choose which loan program. And again, don't worry if you don't know, it's okay, we'll help you with it. But based on whatever loan program, it actually will factor in some of the pertinent things that affect the payment. So while you're perusing Chaz's website for listings that she has, or just looking at other home sites that are out there, if you see something that catches your eye, and maybe it's in the evening, or it's late, and because you're just taking some time to look, if Chaz isn't available, if I'm not available, it gives you the power to just kind of do a calculation on your own with taxes and home insurance factored in. So it's smart enough to recognize that those things are going to be needed, so you're getting a better, more accurate payment scenario versus what some of the ones that are online that I've seen. So
awesome. No, I use it a lot, and I really like that.
Good.
Feature. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And is it a long process? I mean, is it something quick and easy they can do as far as the loan process? I know a lot of people get intimidated about different things, so it's just
there's really no reason to be intimidated. I mean, I feel that I was a first-time home buyer at one point in my life, and I think we've all had our own. Everybody's story is different. Everybody has a story, and we recognize that. So there's nothing to be intimidated about. But if you're more comfortable with the app versus talking on the phone or face to face, by all means, do what you're most comfortable with. But the steps to completing the application really aren't that hard, or I shouldn't say hard, but lengthy in time. You can usually complete the information within 5 to 10 minutes. Now, depending on everybody's circumstances, as it's different, we might be able to complete the pre-approval within an hour.
Okay.
As long as we have the appropriate documentation that's needed, and the app or myself will guide you through what pieces we would need. It can take an hour, but maybe you don't know where your W-2 is. Maybe you don't have pay stubs yet. Maybe you can't find your bank statement. Some of the things that we would need, if you can't find them, and it would be a decision-making piece, we'd have to get that first, just to make sure, because we want to set you up for success.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
We just always like to make sure that we've reviewed everything that's going to be crucial to that approval, so that once you do find your house, it's the smoothest process as we can make it.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. So some of the loan options, we as realtors, we're used to the business, so we throw out those words, FHA, USDA, VA. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Maybe what you offer and different things like that.
Yes. So I know that all of those acronyms and letters can be a little bit overwhelming, and a lot of people have no idea what they mean, and that's okay.
Right.
That's what we're here for, is to help explain. But essentially, the general definition is they're options. So there's 0% down options. There's low down payment options. There are grants that are available to assist with down payment or closing costs. Monies that are needed. So we do offer government financing, which is all of those acronyms that you mentioned. We also offer your conventional financing with low down payment options. We do construction financing, and we actually just started a new program, which that's the thing is with loan programs, there's so many out there, and our team and our company tries to really stay on top of it, and we want to be able to provide the most options that we can.
Right.
So we just started a program. It's great for business owners, people that are self-employed. It gives you an alternative method of calculating your income based off of a cash flow and bank statements versus just the tax return. So some people might find that very helpful. So
yes, absolutely. Because we have clients who, have their own business. So that's very helpful. Yes. All right, so let's talk about the number. Everybody's worried about the number. With this new Credit Karma app coming out, everybody's on it, finding their credit score.
Yeah.
How important is the credit score, and what can someone do? Let's say their credit score is not so great, maybe to improve it a little bit, or to get the best interest rate available.
Different loan programs and even different lenders from lender to lender may have different minimum credit score requirements. But I think in general, I think, the higher your score is, the more options you're going to have as a buyer, which is going to maybe give you more buying power, by maybe more of a bigger house or in a special area. And also, it affects your interest rate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So the credit score is important. So, trying to keep your score up as high as possible. Credit Karma is a good tool to just kind of keep a gauge on it. They do use a different scoring model, so it's almost always not what you're going to see when you sit down with your lender. But that's okay. If your score is not where it needs to be, or if we see room for improvement, we've got a couple of different things we can do to help you get it higher. So one is just based off of experience and conversation. I can tell you, hey, with just a couple of quick fixes, if you do these things and these things, your score will be higher within 30 days. I mean,
awesome.
Sometimes we have to go a little deeper. We have a report that we can run that gives you a faster response time, but it's pretty specific, and it'll tell you, hey, if you pay this card down by this much, you'll gain 7 points on your credit score.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it's pretty specific, it's a faster turn time. So if you've already found a house and we have to scramble pretty quickly to get that score up on, that's something that we can use. And if there's a lot of work, if there's just a lot of, maybe there's discrepancies, maybe there's something that you're not in agreement with or that shouldn't be there any longer but still keeps showing up, we actually work with a couple of different credit repair companies that we would refer you to, and then they would work with you to help get your score up to where you want it to be or where it would need to be.
Awesome, great. That's great. I kind of feel like in this process, communication is key. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, because I feel like you and your team really, as far as keeping communication, you really keep me in the loop, and I appreciate that. And I've heard that from our clients as well, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So just tell me some do's and don'ts, maybe, if once the loan process starts. I know we told clients different things to do and not to do. So what's your advice on that?
So a couple of a big do is communicate. So I'm going to go some of the things that are don'ts, but just if you just stay in contact with the lender or with the girls on my team, that we'll keep you on the right track. But absolutely make sure anything that you are currently making payments on stays paid on time.
Yes.
Although your credit report is good for 90 to 120 days, we don't necessarily have to repull it. But once you find a house, it does go into like a monitoring system to where if there's a late payment, we're gonna know about it. If you open up a new account, we're gonna know. And I understand that, you know, sometimes things happen and you've got to make a purchase.
Right.
That's okay, but you need to talk with us so that we can make sure it's not going to affect your approval or your loan for the home that you're wanting. It's a new payment that we have to factor into your debts. And sometimes there's a credit score change with new debts. So it's just really important to just let the credit sit until you're done with your the completion of your purchase of your home.
Okay.
Something else to not do or be conscientious of is your bank statements. So we use those bank statements. So during your pre-approval, we would have looked at them. We know how much money's in there, and we know what you're going to use to allocate towards the purchase of your house. If that number changes, it could affect the approval.
Okay.
The other thing too is a lot of people don't realize this is cash is not a good thing in the home buying world.
Yes.
So all the money has to be documented. There are very few instances where cash is allowed. So whether it's a gift from, you know, a grandparent or an aunt or uncle or a parent that wants to help you, you know, their relative with a home purchase, it really should be in the form of a check.
Okay.
We have to trace the money and follow it. So if we see a deposit into an account, we're going to ask, hey, where'd this deposit come from? It's not from your payroll. It's not typical. And they're going to say, oh, well, I had this money saved in my shoebox under my bed.
Right.
And that can be an issue. So I feel that it's really important to discuss those type of, you know, what your plan is and what your financial goals are with me when we meet for the pre-approval, so that I can help guide you to the steps and the things that we would need to, you know, whether it's going to be a gift or your own money or however we do it. So changes to the bank statements and cash are something that I would want people to be aware of.
Yes, always leave a paper trail. Always
Yes.
know. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice.
And again, I know things happen. Certainly, we all have to live in the process of buying a house, and
Right.
things come up. So I just call me. Just call me. Let's talk. Maybe it won't affect you at all. Maybe it will. Job changes.
Oh yes, that's a good point. Yes.
Employment. Obviously, that's what we've documented to know where the income source is coming in to repay the loan. So if there's a change in job, it's very important to let us know right away. Doesn't always mean it's a problem, but it would need to be addressed and documented so that we can make sure that we're verifying the right things. And a week before closing isn't always a good time to find that out. So it's helpful just to stay in communication, and we do our best to let the buyer know, hey, the house is getting appraised. Hey, the underwriters looked at your file. Hey, we should be closing next week. Just so that everybody, I don't ever want my client to have to wonder what's going on.
Right.
So that we are aware that it can be a stressful and exciting time when you're buying a house. So we try to keep people well updated.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I hope I want to thank you for your time for answering these questions for me, and I want to thank my Facebook viewers. Angie Bradley and the Bradley Lending team. Her information is going to be on the video, and make sure you contact her for any needs, and of course you can always contact me. Comment in the comments if you want. If you know someone that's struggling with a home loan right now, or you just have questions, or yourself, feel free to ask Angie or myself, either one. We'd be happy to answer those for you, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Angie and I are going to start a series of videos, and this was our first one, and I think we killed it. I think we did good. And we're just going to kind of take you through the whole loan process. So the next video will probably be, okay, we've started the loan process. What happens next? Do you think that's a good one?
I think that's a good one. And if you guys have suggestions on what you'd like to learn more about, please put it in the comments, and we'll be happy to add that to our series.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, from Angie and myself, we want to thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.